The Charlotte Hornets have finally started to win games, and it looks like they may even be able to make the playoffs if continued. Which is why, in today's video, I've decided to rebuild the Hornets and hopefully win them a championship. The addition of rookie Con Kneppel has helped this team a ton. He's averaging 19 points per game, 5.5 rebounds, 4 assists while shooting 43% from the three-point line. He's on pace to set the record of most three-pointers made by a rookie in a season. And of course, LaMelo Ball has been staying pretty healthy throughout the regular season. His field goal percentage is low, but hopefully he can make that higher going forward. Brandon Miller is developing into an amazing player as well, averaging 20 points per game. And that's not all. There's a lot of young players on this team with potential. They also got rookie Ryan Kalkbrenner and Zion James. Tejan Salon is another player I'm a huge fan of. He's shooting 50% from the field and 42% from the three-point line. This is going to be the rotation for the remainder of this season. In our starting lineup, we have LaMelo Ball, Brandon Miller, Con Kneppel, Miles Bridges, and Musa. And then off the bench, we have Kobe White, Ryan Kalkbrenner, Zion James, and Tejan Salon. Before I simulate the next few games, we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, so please make sure you hit that subscribe button and also drop a thumbs up on this video. That really does support the channel and video a ton. The first game of this video is up against the Washington Wizards. Let's see if we can defeat them, and yes, we can. We end up winning this game 127-104, and Con Kneppel goes off here for 30 points. Brandon Miller with 20, Musa with 15, where's LaMelo? He did kind of struggle offensively, but I mean he had 17 assists with 0 turnovers. And the next game will be up against the Chicago Bulls. Can we also go on to win this game? We do end up losing here 128-117. Con Kneppel played amazing, but we did sadly fall short. For the remainder of this season, we are rolling with a 3.5 star overall system proficiency balanced under Charles Lee. Now I'm going to start simulating here until the end of this season, where hopefully we can go on to make the playoffs. We are stopped here at the contract extension day, and Kobe White wants to sign a contract extension. Of course, I'm going to go ahead and extend him. We'll be paying him about $10 million annually for the next 4 seasons, which he goes on to happily accept. So at the end of this season, Nikola Jokic goes on to win MVP, Cooper Flag Rookie of the Year. Sadly, that did not go to Con Kneppel, but I guess Cooper was averaging more points per game, so that does make sense. Isaiah Collier, 6-man, Victor Wembanyama, Defensive Player Buzelis, Most Improved, Danny Avdija, Clutch Player, JB Bickerstaff, Coach. The Celtics win Executive of the Year. Let's see if we have any All-NBA selections, and it looks like we do not get anyone here on All-NBA team. What about all defensive team? And it looks like no one is here either, but we do get ourselves Con Kneppel on all rookie first team. And sadly, we do not go on to make the playoffs. We didn't even make the play-in tournament, but I am not mad at that whatsoever, and that's because we're going to end up with the lottery pick, which means we could draft a good young rookie to build around our core. So let's go ahead and simulate past the playoffs and see who goes on to win the championship. And it looks like it is Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs taking on Cade Cunningham and the Detroit Pistons, and the Spurs go on to win with Victor Wembanyama winning Finals MVP, averaging a 30-point double-double. Before we go into the offseason, let me show you guys the player stats for the regular season. So the leading scorer on our team was Brandon Miller, averaging 21 points per game, 19 from Con Kneppel and 19 from LaMelo Ball. Con Kneppel did go on to beat the record that was previously held by Keegan Murray with 206 three-pointers made by a rookie, and now Con Kneppel holds that record with 281 three-pointers. It is now time for the draft lottery. Let's see which pick we're going to end up with. So far we have the 8th best odds of ending up the first overall pick, and it looks like we also have the 14th overall pick via Phoenix, unless that is lottery protected. Now let's go ahead and simulate past this and see where we end up. So it looks like our pick did fall sadly to 9. But that's not all that bad, and we do also end up with the 14th overall pick. I am attempting to upgrade our power forward position. Aaron Gordon could be the perfect starting power forward. He brings that vet experience, championship experience. He's a good defender and can score when we need him to. I believe he's a way better player than Miles Bridges, so I'm going to be offering the Denver Nuggets Miles Bridges. We'll also throw in our 14th overall pick, and it looks like they do decline, but they give us a counteroffer. So they want Grant Williams and a second rounder. In return, they'll give us Christian Brown. You know what? Let's go ahead and pull off this trade. It is now time for the 2026 NBA draft. Let's see which player we're going to be drafting. The first overall pick the Memphis Grizzlies have, and they go ahead and draft Cameron Boozer. The Hawks have the second overall pick. Let's see who they're going to be taking, and they take Darren Peterson, a good get for the Hawks. The Kings have the third overall pick, and they take Darius Akuff, which means AJ DeBonsa is still on the board. And we do have a trade here to announce Lauri Markkanen and Kyle Filipowski for the fourth overall pick, and TJ Jerome. And the Utah Jazz take Caleb Wilson. Let's simulate to our pick and see which player we'll be able to draft. And holy, AJ DeBonsa just fell here all the way to the 9th overall pick. I'm not sure how this happened, but we could draft ourselves AJ DeBonsa. I was not expecting us to either end up with AJ DeBonsa, Darren Peterson, or Cameron Boozer, but this is a huge W for us. I'm not going to think this over again. We're going to go ahead and draft AJ DeBonsa with the 9th overall pick. I have no clue how he fell to us, but thankfully he did. This is absolutely huge for our team. He's the third highest overall player in this draft class, but for some reason, all of these teams passed on him, which is really good for us because now we ended up with AJ. Excited to see how things go, how his progression goes to pair up with our core. And I am just mind blown with what happens still. Team player options, we are going to pick up the team option on Brandon Miller, Tidjane Salaün. We will let Pat Connaughton walk. We don't need him a part of our rotation. Qualifying offers, it looks like we don't need to re-sign anyone here in free agency. Yeah, it looks like all of our players are locked up on long-term contracts. And honestly, we don't need to sign anyone here in free agency. We already have our core locked up on long-term contracts. I'm hoping for there to be a lot of progression from the younger players. There is one trade I would like to pull off and upgrade a position, so I'll show you guys which trade that's going to be before we go into the next season. The position that I would love to upgrade is that center position. I believe Dereck Lively II could be the perfect starting center for our future. He's a good defender, good rebounder, and he can score when we need him to. We're also taking on Klay Thompson's expiring contract, where we send the Mavericks Musa, Christian Braun, and Liam McNeely. As of right now, they do decline. Let's throw in our 2028 unprotected first rounder. That does not get it done either. Okay, so this team wants a lot for Dereck Lively clearly, but 2 second rounders gets it done. Now here we are at the start of this season with a new and upgraded rotation. In our starting lineup, we have LaMelo Ball, Brandon Miller, Colin Kneppel, Aaron Gordon, and Dereck Lively II. And then off the bench, we have Kobe White, Ryan Kalkbrenner, Tidjane Salaün, and AJ DeBonsa. We will be running a 9-man rotation, and there was a lot of progression from the younger players, as you guys can see. LaMelo's now up to 89 overall, so is Brandon Miller, and Colin Kneppel is at 88. Let's go ahead and simulate the first week of this season to see how we do. We do have 2 games, and we end up defeating the 76ers 162 to 143. We scored 162 points, where LaMelo went off for a 47-point double-double. 29 from Colin Kneppel, 17 from Kobe White. Aaron Gordon in his Hornets debut dropped 16 points, and 16 from Kalkbrenner. We did end up losing here to the New York Knicks, but we did only lose by 3 points, and Dereck Lively dropped 23 points in 26 minutes. Can we go on to defeat the Atlanta Hawks? And yes, we can. 128 to 108. Our defense was amazing. 18 from Miller, 17-point double-double from LaMelo, and a 17-point double-double from Dereck Lively II. And for this season, we are rolling with a 4-star overall system proficiency balanced under Charles Lee. I'm now going to start simulating here until the end of this season, but if there's any trades to be made, I'll make sure to stop here at the trade deadline and show you all. At the end of this season, Victor Wembanyama goes on to win MVP, Cameron Boozer Rookie of the Year, DeJounte Murray 6-man, Victor Wembanyama Defensive Player, Jaden Ivey Most Improved, Cade Cunningham Clutch Player, Mitch Johnson wins Coach of the Year, and we end up winning Executive of the Year. Let's see if we have any All-NBA selections. We do get ourselves LaMelo Ball on All-NBA's second team. Let's go. What about on an All-Defensive team? And it looks like we do not get any more awards, but that is alright. Never mind, we do also get AJ DeBonsa on All-Rookie second team. Let's go. And this time around, we do go on to make the playoffs as the number 1 seed, winning a total of 59 games and losing only 23. Our team has been dominating here in the Eastern Conference, but before we start simulating the playoffs, let's take a look at our player stats. So the leading scorer on our team this time around was LaMelo Ball, averaging 24 points per game, 5 rebounds, and 11 assists. He was averaging a 24-point double-double on really good shooting splits. Colin Kneppel was our second leading scorer with 21 points per game, 5 and 4 assists, shooting 43% from the three-point line, and 20 points per game from Brennan Miller. Aaron Gordon was doing really well here for us at that power forward position, so I'm happy we picked him up when we did. Now in the first round of the playoffs, we will be taking on the Toronto Raptors. They have themselves Emmanuel Quickley, RJ Barrett, Brandon Ingram, Scotty Barnes, and Colin Murray Boyles. Let's see what happens here in the first round. Game number 1 will go to us. LaMelo goes off with a 28-point double-double, 27 from Miller, and 23 from Kneppel. Game number 2 will also end up going to us. This time it's Miller leading the way here with 29 points. Game 3 we also end up winning, and we do not go on to sweep the Toronto Raptors, but we do gentlemen sweep them. In Game 5, Miller led the way with a 31-point double-double. Let's take a look at how LaMelo has been doing so far. He's averaging 20 points per game. Brendan Miller's averaging 23 and 24 from Colin Kneppel. At the trade deadline, I was contemplating on trading for Scotty Barnes. That is something we may still do here in the off-season, but now in the second round, we will be taking on the Detroit Pistons. They have Cade Cunningham, Luke Dorr, Asar Thompson, Ron Holland, and Jalen Duren. Definitely a really good defensive team. Let's see if we're also able to defeat them. Game number 1 does go to us. Colin Kneppel with 27, Miller with 26, Gordon with 23. Game 2 will also go to us. We win Game 3, and we do go on to sweep the Detroit Pistons. Okay, so that series was a lot easier than I had expected. Game 4, LaMelo dropped 35 points, 29 from Miller, and 23 from Kneppel. And just like that, we've made it all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals. We're either going to be taking on the Indiana Pacers or the New York Knicks, and it will be the 6th-seeded New York Knicks. They have themselves Jalen Brunson, Miles McBride, Mikal Bridges, Josh Hart, and Karl Anthony Towns, and somehow they ended up with James Harden, who is now their 6th man. Let's see if we can also go on to defeat the New York Knicks here. Game number 1 will go to us. LaMelo goes off here for a 38-point double-double. 27 from Colin Kneppel. Game number 2 we also end up winning. LaMelo dropping 28, Kneppel with 24, Kobe White with 21. Game 3, we also go on to win here 135-101. Miller leading the way this time with 34 points, 29-point double-double from LaMelo. And are we going to go on to sweep the New York Knicks? We do not sweep them. Can we gentlemen sweep them? And yes, we can. Game 5, Colin led the way here with 31 points and 25 from Miller. Now in the NBA Finals, we're either going to be taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder or the Dallas Mavericks, and it will be the OKC Thunder. Chet Holmgren goes on to win Western Conference Finals MVP, LaMelo Ball Eastern Conference Finals MVP. Let's take a look at the Thunder's roster. So they still have themselves Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Cason Wallace, Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren, and Thomas Sorber. This is going to be their bench unit. This may just be our toughest challenge yet. Game number 1 will go to us. Miller with 23, Kneppel with 22, and a 20-point double-double from LaMelo Ball, 20 from Kobe White as well. Let's see if we can also go on to win the second game, and we do go on to win game 2 as well, 134-93. LaMelo had 26, 24 from Miller, and 20 from Aaron Gordon. How has Gordon been doing here? He's playing amazing, 12 points per game while shooting 63% from the field. All we gotta do now is win 2 more games, and then we'll have won a championship. We also go on to win game 3, 125-122. Miller with 31, 23 and 11 from LaMelo. Are we going to sweep the OKC Thunder? And yes, we do. Brandon Miller goes on winning Finals MVP, and we win the Charlotte Hornets their first ever championship. That is what I'm talking about. We do go on to win the Charlotte Hornets their first ever championship. We're going to try and run it back and see if we can win a back-to-back championship. Let's see if we can create a dynasty here with the Charlotte Hornets. Here are the playoff stats where we played a total of 18 games. The leading scorer was Brendan Miller, averaging 26 points per game, 23 from Colin Kneppel, and 22 from LaMelo Ball. In the NBA Finals, we played 4 games. The leading scorer was Brendan Miller, averaging 28, 19 from Kneppel, and 19 from LaMelo Ball. We are now here in the offseason, and I want to try and bring Scottie Barnes on our team to be the brand new starting power forward. He's one of the best two-way players in the entire NBA. Having him paired up with LaMelo, Con Kneppel, and Brendan Miller will be absolutely amazing. Talking with the Toronto Raptors, we're going to be offering them Aaron Gordon. We probably will have to throw in a bunch of first-round picks, but that's alright. We have 2 first-rounders in the 27 draft, and they do still decline. What if we throw in a Miami Heat unprotected? That does not get it done either. Okay. 4 first-round picks. What about 5 first-round picks? And now we end up with Scottie Barnes. Could you all imagine this team together? They would be absolutely unstoppable in real life. This would definitely be a new dynasty, winning championship after championship. And for team player options, of course, we're going to pick up the team option on Con Kneppel, Ryan Kalkbrenner, Zion James, and Tidjane Salaün. I'm not sure if we need to re-sign anyone, and yes, we do. We have 2 big free agency signings here to do. We have to re-sign Brendan Miller and Dereck Lively II. Hopefully they're not asking for all that much money here in free agency, but even if they are, we do have bird rights on them, plus they're restricted free agents, and holy, Brendan Miller is asking for $53 million. Dereck Lively is asking for $10 million, nothing close to Miller, but $53 million is a max contract. Let's see, so never mind, we could actually give him about $38 million annually and he would happily accept that. So I'm going to offer Brendan Miller a 4-year contract, paying him $38 million annually. We're going to do the same here for Lively, who wants about $10 million. I'm going to give him a 4-year deal. And both players are going to accept, so we get Brendan Miller on a 4-year, $170 million contract, and we get Dereck Lively on a 4-year, $44 million contract. I am looking for a new backup point guard that's also a good defender, because I don't know if I told you all this, but last season we were one of the worst defenses in the league. Our offense was amazing, but our defense not so much, and Coby White as a backup point guard isn't really a good defender whatsoever. So I'm going to see if we could sign Donte DiVincenzo, then maybe even trade Coby White here in the offseason and upgrade that backup point guard position. But Donte DiVincenzo does go on to accept for now. As I said, I was looking for a good defensive backup point guard, and the Magic are offering us Jalen Suggs, who's a really good perimeter defender, can score, and could play make. They're also wanting to give us a first-round pick where we send them Coby White, Donte DiVincenzo, and Tre Mann. Let's go ahead and pull off this trade. Here we are at the start of this season, and this is what the rotation will be looking like. In our starting lineup, we have LaMelo Ball, Brendan Miller, Con Kneppel, Scottie Barnes, Dereck Lively II, and then off the bench, we have Jalen Suggs, AJ Debonsa, Ryan Kalkbrenner, and Tidjane Salaün. There was a lot of progression from our younger core once again. Our big 3 is all 90 overall or above. I want to see if this season we're able to win LaMelo Ball an MVP. That would be absolutely amazing. Let's go ahead and simulate the first week with our new team and see how we do. We do go on to win all 3 of the 3 games. We scored 148 points against the Nuggets, where LaMelo dropped a 35-point double-double. Con Kneppel with 25, 21 from Miller, Scottie with 13 points. And so far, Scottie's averaging 14 points per game, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists. We are rolling with a 4.5-star overall system proficiency balanced under Charles Lee. Each season, our overall system proficiency has gotten better than the previous. But now I'm going to start simulating here until the end of this season, and the goal will be to win LaMelo Ball an MVP, and if there's any trades to be made, I'll make sure to stop here at the trade deadline to show you all. This season, we go on to make the NBA Cup Finals, where we're taking on the Memphis Grizzlies. Let's see if we're able to win the NBA Cup Finals here. So far, we do have the lead, back and forth battle, and we do end up winning 147 to 131. LaMelo had 25, 22 from Miller, and 20 from Scottie Barnes. And LaMelo Ball goes on to win NBA Cup Finals MVP. And we have completed the goal of winning our boy LaMelo Ball an MVP. He goes on to win this season, averaging 26 points per game, 5 rebounds, 10.5 assists, 2 steals on 50, 40, 88 shooting splits. Phenomenal season here from LaMelo. And now, hopefully, we're also able to win him a back-to-back championship. Tyrone Stokes wins Rookie of the Year, Josh Giddey 6-Man, Victor Wembanyama Defensive Player, Jaden wins Most Improved, Scoot Henderson Clutch Player. Our head coach, Charles Lee, wins Coach of the Year, and we also go on to win Executive of the Year. LaMelo Ball, the MVP, makes it on all NBA first team. Let's see if we have any more NBA selections, and it looks like we do not. What about all defensive team? We don't get anyone here either, okay. But we did end this season being the number 1 seed, winning a total of 79 games and losing only 3. We are breaking record after record, most wins by a team in a regular season. 79 wins is insane. We've only lost 3 games in the entire season. Now, before we start simulating the playoffs, let's take a look at the player stats. So the leading scorer on our team was the MVP, LaMelo Ball, averaging 26 points per game, 23 from Brendan Miller, 22 from Con Kneppel, 17 from Scotty, and 12 from Jalen Suggs. The addition of Scotty Barnes for our team has been absolutely huge. But now in the first round of the playoffs, we will be taking on the New York Knicks. They have themselves Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, Tobias Harris, Kyle Kuzma, and Karl Anthony Towns. Not sure what they have done with their starting lineup, but clearly it's not the same lineup as before. Game number 1 will go to us. Con Kneppel leading the way here with 32, the MVP with 29, and 28 from Brendan Miller. Game number 2 will also go to us. We win game 3 and we sweep the New York Knicks. So far, LaMelo is averaging 37 points per game and 10 assists, almost 40 points per game. That is insane. Brendan Miller is averaging 24 and 19 from Con Kneppel. Now in the second round of the playoffs, we're taking on the Atlanta Hawks. They have Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Darren Peterson, Zachary Risache, Jalen Johnson, and Onyeka Okongwu. And they do have a pretty stacked bench as well. Let's see what happens here. Game number 1 will go to us. LaMelo leading the way here with a 41-point double-double. Game number 2 will also go to us. We win game 3 and we go on to sweep the Atlanta Hawks. Let's go. LaMelo is still averaging over 30 points per game, 24 for Brendan Miller, and 20 from Con Kneppel. He has been struggling big time from the 3-point line. And in the Eastern Conference Finals, we will be taking on the Detroit Pistons. They have themselves Cade Cunningham, Luke Dort, Jimmy Butler, so it looks like they may have traded for Jimmy Butler or signed him in free agency. They also have Asar Thompson and Jalen Duren, and this will be their bench unit. Let's see how things go here. Game number 1 will go to us. Con Kneppel with 34 points, and finally he has hit his 3-pointers. 29 and 18 from LaMelo. Game number 2 will also go to our team. LaMelo dropping 43, 33 from Miller, and 26-point double-double from Scotty Barnes. Game 3 we do end up falling short here. LaMelo did have 41 points, but sadly our defense was not all there. Now we do end up winning game 4, going up 3-1, and we gentlemen sweep the Detroit Pistons, making it to the NBA Finals. Con Kneppel in game 5 dropped 35 points, 26 from Scotty and 20 from Miller. It looks like we're either going to have to take on the San Antonio Spurs or the Phoenix Suns, and it will be the Phoenix Suns. Somehow the Suns came back from a 3-1 deficit that they had. Okay, so the Spurs were up 3-1, but clearly the Suns go on to win. Devin Booker winning Finals, Western Conference Finals MVP, averaging 40 points per game. LaMelo, Eastern Conference Finals MVP, averaging a 32-point double-double. And that is insane. The Spurs were up 3-1, but I just seen the Suns come back from that real quick. Let's take a look at the Suns roster. So they have themselves Jalen Green, Devin Booker, Jalen Wells, Ryan Dunn, and Klamon Maluach, as well as Mark Williams coming off the bench. And the Phoenix Suns were the number 1 seed in the Western Conference. Let's see if we're able to defeat them to win a back-to-back championship. Game number 1 will go to us. Miller with 35, LaMelo with a 24-point triple-double. Game 2 will also go to us. Con Kneppel with 35, Scotty with 20. Game 3 we also end up winning, so these playoffs have been pretty easy for us so far. LaMelo with 28, 4, and 11. Let's jump into Simcast. I will be jumping into the last game. I know a lot of you have been telling me to jump into games. In this video, there haven't been many close games for me to jump into, but this game will definitely jump in. The Phoenix Suns will have home court advantage on their side, and let's see what happens. So far we do have the lead by quite a bit, 5 minutes remaining. Let's slow this down so we could jump in when there's about 1 minute 30 remaining. We are up by quite a bit, so this is not much of a challenge, but we will be jumping in. 107.95, 130 remaining on the clock. I will be playing for the remainder of the 1 minute 30 seconds. I have subbed in all of our starters, and a setting I changed is the jump shot will solely be based off of what the real player's field goal percentage is. I don't have to hit green for the shot to go in. It It all depends on what the player is actually shooting in game. So let's jump in and see what happens. The Phoenix Suns are inbounding the ball. It looks like it is going to Devin Booker. Can we guard him? And he runs right past LaMelo, but we do end up getting a block with Ryan Kalkbrenner. Let's go. Pass it up to Brendan Miller, back to Kneppel. Three-pointer is in. Let's go. I'm not sure if this is... Let me check this difficulty quickly. We are going to go ahead and change it all the way to All-Star. Let's go ahead. Since it's not me having to hit green anyways, it might as well put it on All-Star. Let's see what happens. Oh god, Mark Williams with a wide open slam dunk. They're trying their best playing defense here, and they get a steal. Mark Williams once again with a slam dunk. Holy. Hopefully that does not happen again. Let's pass it out to Brendan Miller. Wide open lane. AJ DeBonsa with a wide open shot, but he ends up missing. Okay, hopefully this team does not come back here. Oh god, I am trash at this game. Ever since I've jumped in, they've been on a non-stop run. Let's slow this down a little bit here. There's only 53 seconds remaining. Let's get a screen set for LaMelo Ball and try to hit a three-pointer. And we do end up missing the three-pointer, sadly. Devin Booker with the ball, advancing. Let's see what he does. Oh god. They're running a double big lineup right now. Isaiah Hartenstein and Mark Williams, but Devin Booker does make it to the free throw line. Okay. That would be embarrassing if they come back in 27 seconds, but I don't think they'll allow that to happen. I'm not that bad. Okay, so Devin Booker hits his first free throw, and he also hits his second. Are they going to start fouling us? And it looks like we have a wide open lane. LaMelo Ball with a driving dunk. Let's go. This game is over, but we're going to continue playing for the remainder of this game anyways. Okay, so they missed that three. This is over. 15 seconds remaining. I would like to hit a three-pointer with LaMelo if possible. Let's get a screen set here and see if we can do it. Pass it back to LaMelo. And oh god, we do not end up hitting a three-pointer with LaMelo, but that is alright because we go on to win a back-to-back championship. And there you have it, we go on to win the Charlotte Hornets a back-to-back championship. LaMelo Ball being handed the trophy, that is what I'm talking about. And LaMelo Ball also goes on to win Finals MVP. I'll show you guys what the stats were for the playoffs here in a second. And this is absolutely perfect. First, we won LaMelo Ball the NBA Cup Finals MVP, then the regular season MVP, and now the Finals MVP. Let's see how our players did here in Game 4. So LaMelo was dropped 33 points and 13 assists, Kneppel with 23, AJ DeBonsa with 16. Before I end out this video, let's take a look at the player stats. We played a total of 17 games here in the playoffs. The leading scorer was LaMelo Ball, averaging 31 points per game and 13 assists, 24 from Brendan Miller and 23 from Kneppel. And then here are the NBA final stats: 25 from LaMelo, 23 from Kneppel, and 21 from Brendan Miller. And now that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to hit that thumbs up button and also subscribe if you're new for more NBA 2K26 videos. That really does support out the channel a ton. And click here on the screen to watch my latest upload. Until next time, it's your boy Dragon, and I'm out. Peace.